Shut up and sit down.
Go. There you go. See, I managed to get him to stop talking so that I could get in on time, folks. Shock horror.
Drugs kicked in.
Wonders may never cease, folks. Yes, welcome to the Friday Frolic with me, Colin, Festa 67's workshop, and him, the GNU. Yes.
Hello. Welcome.
How are you, mate? If you would like to support this channel, let's get all of that rubbish out of the way. You can do so by heading over to patreon.com/Festa67's workshop, or click the join button below, or the $ for a super chat. There is also super thanks, and all of that gubbins all goes in a big pot and helps pay for all of this
Goodness
stuff. So let's have a quick scoot in the chat and see who we've got in. That's the most important thing.
Yes.
First in, we had Andy over at YWOBB. We'll try and catch up with some of the in the 24/7 Zoom soon. I hope you have a good show. Love to Colin and Fox. No worries, mate. I will try and get in there at some point this week. But folks in the Zoom, you do need to realise I am dealing during the day with a lot of medical stuff. So you can't click your fingers at me and expect me to come running. So yeah. Just calm down the messages because I've got a lot going on. So just bear that in mind. LWM, a.k.a. Bill, is in, says good evening all. Evening, Bill. How are you doing, mate? Lovely to see you. Fox is in, saying evening, Squiggles. Prepare your looking eyes for many things. Now that is worrying.
Many things.
We then have Lord Marcus of Brunn, the purveyor of Saturday Night Carnage. Yes, Marcus is in, says good evening, Cole, Fox, and the chat. Hello, Marcus. How you doing, mate? Love to you and the family, mate, and I hope everything is tickety-boom, mate. Next up, we've got JC and his bricks and his builds. Saying evening, Colin, Fox, and all in chat. Festa and Fox Hugs. Hello, James. Hello. Love to you, Shania and Alicia, mate. Marcus is saying hello. Who are you up to? You cutting your nails?
No.
Oh.
Why?
I just couldn't.
I'm just sitting here. Oh, I could hear that. I wonder what it was.
In the background. Yeah, ain't me, so I just wondered what it was.
Let me check my wires.
Yeah,
my wires.
Because it wasn't distracting at all, mate. Marcus says hi to JC and Bill. Rod Etom is in, says hi, Colin, Fox, and all in chat.
My microphone wire's loose.
Yeah, it's coming from your end, mate.
Yeah,
because me meter's going ballistic on the screen there. Ron said hi, Colin, Fox, and all in chat. Max is in, says hi, Colin, Fox, and all in chat. Hello, Max. PJ is in, says evening, morning, Colin, Fox, the spider hanging from the ceiling above Fox's head, and everyone in chat. Hello, Boris, as well. Panzer's in, says Festa Hugs. Hello, Pans, how you doing, mate? He's also saying everyone in the chat. Chloe is in, says a good evening. How are you all? Hello, Chloe. Lovely to see you.
Welcome.
Love to Ivy May. The Bobbins is in, saying howdy. Howdy, Bobbins.
Hello, ma'am.
Hugh Golden is in, saying good evening all. Hello, you. How you doing, mate? If you could just let us know all the other videos coming through all okay, and then I'll ask the GNU what he's up to. What you been up to, and how's my mum?
Hello, buddy. Mama Wolf is fine. She's fast asleep. Well, I think she's fast asleep. I can hear her snoring. Doesn't mean she's asleep.
She's had a busy day, bless her, isn't she, mate?
Yeah, she's been up for at least 5 hours.
He says that most cynically.
Yeah. So no, she's fine. I'm all right. Today I will be working on some more Deathcore of Krieg army set. I was going to start the Horsey Mans, but I'll do the big boom stick instead. So I'm going to be doing the big artillery piece, and you're an artillery piece.
Happy days, yes. Whilst I'll get a chance, I'll say to everyone, what's in the belly, what's on the bench, what is your beverage of choice, what is your balloon, do you have a bacteria that you like? Yeah, you know the score.
Yeah. C. differens, that's my favourite bacteria.
Happy days. So, yes, I'm carrying on just doing a little bit on the Suzuki GSX Arr.
Arr,
For
I'll
the
be
year
back in
2020, so I'm doing a bit of that. So, yes. That's what I'm up to. Just carrying on with some little sub-assemblies and getting them all ready. And, yeah, so that's what I'm up to. Do you have any plans for this weekend, folks? Have you got family down? Have you got places you're going to see or do? Or what are you up to this weekend? You don't have to apologise, mate.
What are you up to this weekend?
Xbox.
Yeah, good lad.
Because it's the weekend, mate.
Yeah, it's time off, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got that I'm doing this weekend.
You work hard all week. You're allowed a couple of days of nonsense.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a bit of Xbox at some point. I'll squeeze it in around my busy schedule.
It's always good when you squeeze it in.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Jolly good. Me, myself, probably exactly the same, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it won't be a mammoth 6-hour sesh, but I'm sure I'll get a little bit of gaming in at some point.
A little bit of something.
Yeah.
Right. Let's see how you build this big gun, shall we?
So that's what I have planned.
Right. It's very straightforward. Bill says, brought a new camera today, so going to be nothing in the belly for a while. Cool.
Oh, happy days. What'd you get? Tell us.
Yeah.
We need to know all of the details.
Just say my camera. Yeah, let us know what you got. Because I know nothing about cameras.
PJ's ears will be pricking up, mate.
PJ's, yeah?
Yeah, he likes a bit of photography, this old PJ.
Yeah. I have thought in the past, when I've finished a build and I've got to take photographs of it, I do often find myself wishing that I had a proper DSLR.
Yeah.
To take decent pictures. Because if I use my phone, it's a good enough picture, but the depth of focus is terrible. It's like the first centimetres in focus and the rest of the model's out. And it's like, I just want to get a big, wide range of focus. But then I remember that I'm so inept that I couldn't make use of a decent camera.
Yeah, there is that.
It's like my dad was a professional cameraman for 50 years and he just wept every time I tried to understand cameras. If I touch a camera now, he starts vibrating in his urn violently and I have to put it down.
I could just imagine him sitting there going, there is no way that damn boy came from my loins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just imagine it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if smartphone cameras had a proper, you could really tweak the depth of focus a bit to get, infinite would be good.
Yeah,
I did try
one of them, innit?
I did try some software that you use for stacking microscope images so you can stack the different image. You take a different depth of focus on each image and then you stack them together.
Yeah.
I tried that once, but it wasn't great. I think it's called Z stacking in microscopy terms. But it wasn't. It didn't really work.
Didn't do what it said on the tin.
Well, it did, but my photographs weren't actually anywhere near good enough to stack nicely. It all came down to me and my shortcomings, I'm afraid.
It makes the whole difference, doesn't it? A good photograph. It really does. Yeah, no, it's...
That's the thing. I mean, you take a picture of a figure, it's one thing, but you take a picture of a long vehicle and you get a nice clear shot of the grill and the rest of it just goes into depths of blur. Of course, I could take a picture from a long way away in the highest resolution possible and zoom it in. That would work.
Yeah.
But then you lose a bit of quality then. Right, let's clean some pieces. Panzer says, belly, pork chop, mashed potatoes and green beans topped with HP sauce. Beverage, coffee, bench, Hertzer tank destroyer.
Oh, nice.
PJ says, belly, chip shop dinner. Jumbo sausage, chips, mushy peas and gravy. Oh. That's correct, but you should also have a steak and kidney pudding in there as well, ideally, because that's my chippy dinner plus a steak and kidney pudding. Bench, Italeri 148 810C Black Snake, beverage, shandy. Yeah, I know, I got a thirst on.
Bless you.
JC Bricks and Bills. Belly. Chinese chicken curry, special fried rice and duck spring rolls. Bench. Just finished a 3D printed Savage Land Rogue figure. Beverage, cherry Pepsi.
Oh, nice.
Ugh, Pepsi. Skill Modern Chaos. Chloe. Is it Chloe? Chloe.
Hello.
Says belly, fried spicy chicken, hash browns and mushy peas. Bench 170. You have to say it like that. Bench 172nd Edward Tornado GR2. Bevy,
nice.
pint of lemonade, biscuit, chopped chip cookies, balloon, clear with a teat.
He's
Bacteria.
a secret lemonade drinker.
Drinker. Oh, why? Bacteria MRSA. Ooh, harsh.
Oh, harsh.
And it's C elegans, not C differens, I think. I got it wrong, Liam. Was it C difficile? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't particularly care.
No, neither do I. Bobbin says, this weekend I might start the new build, a French World War I tank. Ooh.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, Tim.
Perfect for being converted to Deathcore Krieg, those, because they kind of look, World War I tanks kind of look Deathcore. Not a pork chop for ages.
You're a pork chop. You're made of pork chops.
I never used to like them that much because it was like, you get this nice big chop and it's like that much meat and the rest of it is not edible. It's like,
yeah, it's a bit, isn't it?
You get that kind of, it's like getting a really massive box of something for your birthday and opening it inside. It's like a tiny thing. It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mum. La la la.
Yeah, it's a little bit warm this evening, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sweating a bit.
We both noticed that today. We're like, oh yeah, it's a bit warm, isn't it?
I actually got to turn the heating down, which was nice.
Yeah, we haven't got ours on.
No.
It's like, I opened up the bag cave and H was like, oh, that's hot in there, mate, isn't it? I was like, yeah. Checked for fire and flame and all of that lot. There's none in here, but yeah, got the window wide open.
Sitting there thinking, I'm having a flush.
Yeah, that's probably it, mate.
And then you're like, hang on, can I get a flush?
Yeah.
Can men get flushes? Yes.
Yes, the menopause, mate.
Yep.
It is a thing. Medically proven.
It's like 1,000,000 times less than a woman's menopause, but we make out like it's twice as bad.
Of course we do.
10 times as bad. Yep.
It's like man flu. Man flu is an epic disease that is, ravaging most males when they get it. Women get the sniffles.
Yeah. I mean, let's not forget, every man that gets a headache, the first thing he thinks is this a brain tumour?
Yeah.
Am I going to die? And then it goes away and you go, oh, it's just a headache.
Yeah. We convince ourselves of the worst case scenario. That's what blokes do.
Oh, yeah.
I actually got praised by my nurses saying most blokes would be flailing around like a 3-year-old petulant child, yet you just sit here and absorb everything we tell you. With all right. She said, you've got that resigned attitude. She said, it's good. She said, because we do have some male patients, she said, are really difficult to treat.
And then Festa said, have you met my wife? And then he got slapped.
Yeah, it's like...
Because she was sat right there.
I don't see the point in blinking about it. I really don't. Yeah, no, it's...
You can't change it. There's no point worrying about it.
No. Exactly.
Like I've said before, when you're sat outside the headmaster's office waiting to get a bollocking, there's no point worrying about it. No. It's going to happen no matter what. Ooh.
I thought...
It was delicate. I like that. It kind of evolved.
That
slowly.
was, mate. That was.
It kind of slowly emerged into the daylight.
Panzer. Have you done Panzer's belly? Yep, you have.
Yes.
Chloe says it's 10 degrees in Nottingham at the moment, which is a massive increase.
Nottingham. You know what's important about Nottingham? It's where Warhammer World is.
There you go.
It's the only thing it's got going for it.
We'll get there one day. You never know.
Yeah, been there once. I still want to go back. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, my lad went up there with my other lad, and I was like, you in the Warhammer World Dictate Dad?
Yeah, it's like, because that's what got me when you told me that, because it's like, well, they know you make Warhammer stuff. Did they not think to ask you?
Dude, I must admit, I did have a really good epic bottom lip.
Did you? Oh, good, man. Because I was
They were impressed with my sort of half-inflated dinghy protruding lippage.
Because I just sat there and thought, hang on a minute. What?
Yeah. How succumbed. He was like, I feel really guilty now. So it's all right. That wasn't my intention, honest.
I'll fight through the tears.
Through the tears. Yeah. He said, next time we go, we'll take you. And I went, there won't be a next time. It'll be demolished by then.
Yeah.
It'll just be dust and a shadow of where it once stood. I really did milk it, I must admit.
It'll be like Blackpool Pontins. It'll just be an empty lot.
Yeah.
There's nothing left.
Lex was like emotionless. It's like, yeah, you're on your own there, old man. Damn it.
Yeah. I mean, you knew it wasn't going to have any effect on your two boys because you brought them up, but at the same time, you were going to give it the best try you could.
Oh, yeah, I had to go for it.
Yeah. The thing is, we're men, and men are stupid enough that we know what the outcome is, but we still try it anyway.
Yeah. H's reaction was, don't you think you're a little bit too old for that now?
Oh,
I was like, so I done my Hollywood voice. You're never too old to Warhammer.
He should have said to her, so next time they go to World of Shoes and they don't take you and you're not going to react at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. World of Shoes. Or whatever it is.
Surprised she hasn't run in here and gone, is there such a place?
Just wait for the delicate sound.
Yeah, that's where you lost me there. H and delicate. Yeah, all right.
Well, I decided to cut that sentence short before I went any further with it because I didn't want to get myself in trouble.
I just went for it without realising again.
I kind of knew what I was there. I thought, I know what Festa would say in this situation, and then I started saying, "I thought, no."
Apply
the world's
handbrake.
man. Yeah. While I still can, I did that. La 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 la. I know exactly what you'd say in that sentence.
Yeah, but is Forge World still a thing at Warhammer World? Because it's gradually going on the back burner, isn't it? By the look of it.
Yeah, they still sell stuff. I mean, they've still got things like Titans and stuff like that. Their range is really small, but the Forge World store's still there because they still do like Titans and. Is it PJ or Panzer that's supposed to get the big flying
PJ?
thing?
Not that I'd throw him under the bus, but yeah.
Yeah, the
I
big.
was just about to say to PJ, there's still time for you to grab one, mate.
Yeah, whatever it was called. The big
Tau Manta.
Tau Manta, that's it.
God, I remembered it. And yeah, it's not that I'm obsessed at all, honest.
The Tau Opal Manta.
Yeah.
It's like I'd love one of them big, what do we call it? Titans. But I wouldn't want to build one.
Yeah, painting it would be fun.
Oh, yeah. I was amazed to find out Joy Toy. If you play Cyberpunk 2077, that means something completely different. But Joy Toy, who make action figures, they did a few Warhammer figures, like action figure scale figures, like that kind of tall, about as big as that knife. And they did like a few Space Marines and an Imperial Guard. And I happened upon their website the other day, and they haven't announced anything, but they've got thousands of them. They've got loads of different Space Marine chapters. They've got like loads of different Imperial Guard. They've got loads of other stuff.
Oh, right, yeah.
But they've also got Imperial Knights, but they're action figure scale.
Oh, wow.
Which means it's an Imperial Light that's like 2.5 foot tall.
Yeah.
And you can put the action figure in the cockpit.
Oh.
It's like, I need one of them, 600 quid. No. Or was it 300 quid? I was like, they kept that quiet. I didn't even know they got that much of a range, but yeah.
That's the thing, innit? You see them and you think, oh, yeah, I'll add that to the basket. And then you look and you go,
oh, maybe
yeah, perhaps I won't.
Yeah. So action figure scale Imperial Knight is just like, holy. And they look fantastic. It's such nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd love a Titan, but I wouldn't want to build it. My resin skills stretch to the occasional small vehicle and figures. That's about it. Anything that requires massive structural embellishments, no.
Yeah, there's a lot to putting them together.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, you get some big chunky weapons like the size of a, I don't know, the size of a, it's like that kind of size and it's that thick and it's like, and you need to bend it into shape. No.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's beyond. I don't do engineering. That's part of my hobby.
Oh, I'm sure you'd get round the problems, but...
No, I'd just lose sleep and then panic and then have sadness. Always with the sadness.
Yeah, I mean, some of these things, you know, you look at it and you think, oh, yeah, it's, you know, I'd have that, and you're like, yeah, it's a couple of grand's worth of stuff there, and it's like, where are you going to put it as well? That's the thing.
Yeah, where's it going to go? Oh.
I'd like to paint a Titan, I must admit. I'd be up for doing that, but...
Oh, yeah.
I'd 3D print one.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of thing that if they ever did a plastic version, it would be enormously successful.
Oh, blimey,
but
yeah.
I can't imagine what they charge you for it.
That's the thing. It would be several hundred, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the full resin Titan's about $1.50 when you get all the different separate bits together. So, a plastic one, hundreds of pounds. But then again, hey, it's no different to spending 500 quid on a Bandai Millennium Falcon.
Exactly.
Or, you know, 700 or 800 quid on one of them MFH cars, whatever they are, or you get your space battleship Yamato, which is about 300 quid.
Yeah.
All those kind of things. Value is in the eye of the... That's not the right phrase, but you know what I mean.
I've always said to people, you know, if you've got the budget, get what you want, innit? You know what I mean? It's...
At the end of the day, you know, there's no wrong price for a model kit. It's whatever the manufacturer wants to sell it for.
Yeah.
People either buy it or they won't. If they can afford it, all the best to them. If they can't, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Get something else.
It's one of them, you know. It's only overpriced when you can't afford it.
Yeah. I've never been the kind of person that complains that something's expensive because I just find that tiresome.
I always say if people have got the budget for it, have at it. Go for it. Why not? It's their hobby.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, you know, people that say, oh, this particular kit, I'm not paying whatever it's 500 quid for that Millennium Falcon. Great, don't get it then.
Yeah, not when I can get that for that. Well, it's like, yeah, but it's Rolls Royce and Bentley again, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, do you want to drive a Trabant or do you want to be driven in a Bentley? Yeah. You know, it's
like, you know, I can't afford a Ferrari, but I don't go around saying, oh, I'm not paying for 700 grand for a Ferrari. No, I'm like, yeah, they're worth it because it's a prestige car, so you pay what you pay.
Exactly, folks. James says the Imperial Knight is $699.
That's it. He's obviously been on the Joy Toy website.
Bobbins, that was the Warhammer world. He wants to go to the design department.
You can't get in that bit.
Yeah, Chloe says, try telling H you would only be going as the designated adult to Warhammer World. Actually, that one might not work. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be the opposite of the designated. You'd be the...
PJ says, Fox, when you said Joy Toy, what popped into my head wasn't what you were talking about. No, you was thinking of a tubular-style rocket ship, wasn't you?
Yes, well, that's exactly why I said it means something else in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, he was thinking of booster rockets for the shuttle, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was thinking of large hollow torches. What's it the Americans call them? I can't remember.
Right.
Yeah, that Imperial Knight, that Joy Toy Imperial Knight looks really good to get that repainted.
Oh, yeah.
and everything.
Leave one of those all day long, wouldn't it? It's like, yeah, I'd have a go.
I meant to get some of their deathcore figures. I never did. But yeah, they don't shout about it. Like they launched them a few years ago, and there was a couple of Space Marines, and they did one deathcore dude. And then that was it. And they never gave it any PR after that. But there's so many different, like, Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines. There's Imperial Guard. There's everything. There's, like, they've got, like, you can buy, like, Imperial Guard artillery pieces. It's like, really?
Makes you wonder why they don't promote them, doesn't it?
Yeah, because, I mean, they're big. They're big size. I was like, God, imagine playing Warhammer, right, but with actual action figures instead of the miniatures. You'd have to have a massive table.
Yeah, I try not to think about playing Warhammer because it's gaming table territory, isn't it? You know what I mean?
You'll get one.
No,
It'll
mate.
happen. You'll make one.
I may have did some online searching at one point.
Yeah.
But,
Oh yeah, 6x3.
you know, might have some downloaded terrain files. But no, I'm not seriously thinking about it.
He's comedically thinking about it.
May have applied the tape measure to my pasteboards, but yeah.
Because we all know your dioramas are long and thin, so you may as well just say it's just for a shelf that's 6 foot by 3 foot.
Yeah, I've got nowhere to put one, mate.
No.
Yeah. Sound convincing, Cole, why don't you?
Yeah, because it wouldn't fit in your sun lounge at all, would it?
No, the heat in there would be in the summer, though, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. You know, even though we've got the roof with all the preventative overheating stuff on it, it's
a good job for you. Nobody invented wheels for tables and things.
It is because, yeah, you're sarcastic git.
It'd be screwed if somebody had.
I love the way you patronise me at times.
It would be kind of cool, though, just you and Lex playing.
Oh, yeah.
You fancy a game, son? Yeah, why not, Dad? I'll kick your ass. Oh,
yeah, getting back to forgetting me at Warhammer World. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Can I use your gaming table, Dad? Yeah. Over my dead, decaying body, son. I haven't forgotten Warhammer World, just saying.
Yeah. You can use it somewhere. It's going to cost you 20 quid an hour.
Yeah, rent it. I couldn't be that cruel.
Paint some of my army and you can use it.
Yeah, it'll be like, yeah. Because he'd give me puppy dog eyes and I would concede because, yeah.
Because, yeah. He's learnt that from H, hasn't he?
Yeah, puppy dog eyes works on me, but not for me, see, so.
Yeah, exactly. He's learnt that from H as well.
Oh, yeah. He often says that, Mum taught me well. She said I'd break you with puppy dog eyes. It's like, oh, right, thanks for, a little bit of faith in the old man there.
It's like, how do you know how to manipulate my emotions? Well, I just watched you and Mum for 30 years and I know exactly how you fail every time. Oh, yeah. Bless you.
I try.
You still try, though, don't you?
Absolutely, mate.
One day.
One day, Rodney will be millionaires.
One day you'll get away with something. Donald Mackenzie's in, says, evening, everyone. Welcome, Donald.
Hello, Donald. Nice to see you, mate.
Panzer says, methinks PJ's had enough adult beverages for tonight. And he says, I'd hardly call a shandy an adult drink.
Your Bronson list, PJ. I was going to say your stamina's low if you're getting drunk on a shandy, mate.
Yeah, especially on a shandy top or something,
But you remember then, the limeade and lagers and the top deck cans, wasn't it? That was it.
Well, yeah, until I was about 10 years old, every night I'd go to bed and I'd be sent to bed with a Turkish Delight as a treat.
Yeah.
A Turkish Delight and a can of Shandy Pilsner.
Oh, nice.
It's a big 440ml as well. I was only like 5 or 6, but I was allowed that. And I didn't, once they gave me a Shandy Bass, it was horrible. I didn't like that. But this was the 70s. Parents didn't care in those days.
Nah, Bub used to always rub a bit of whiskey on our gums if we had toothache.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just placate your child with alcohol, why don't you?
Yeah.
Like you say, it was the 70s. Things were a lot different back then.
Well, they couldn't get the hard drugs then, so alcohol had to do.
bit of scotch. If you was all bunged up and having trouble sleep, you did get a whiskey toddy.
Oh yeah, fond memories of that. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever had this. Nobody I know remembers what it was, but if ever I got like a stomachache, I'd be given gripe water. Do you remember that?
Gripe water, yeah, I remember that.
And kaolin and morphine.
Yeah.
Which is basically chalk and opium in a liquid.
Yeah, gripe water.
I always wonder what gripe water was.
Yeah, and when Mum's discovered TCP, yeah.
Or Dettol for the scrapes and scratches.
Yeah, they put half a bottle of it on you. It's like, oh! You're doing the river dance all round the house. It's like, yeah, cheers, Mum.
Thanks for that. I didn't need that skin anyway.
And it'd be like, stop being a wimp. It ain't burning that much. It's like, yeah, you put half a bottle of TCP on your leg then, Mum. Go on.
Yeah. See how you like it.
It's like,
chummy.
Mums had no sympathy back then, did they?
Oh, God, no. It was the 70s. Everybody was brutal in the 70s. It's just the way things were. There was no sympathy in those days.
But our generation, would we have wanted to have been brought up in a different era? I don't think we would.
No, because, you know, we grew up in the era where you got up out of bed, you got some breakfast if you had breakfast, and then you were just thrown into the garden outside and told to bugger off till dinner time.
Yeah.
And you developed immunity to all the diseases because you basically sat there and just ate dirt all day.
Yeah, you ate mud. That was right, yeah.
Basically, you ate the garden.
Yeah.
And,
cheaper than a lawnmower, when it just said the kids out in the garden, they'll eat all of that grass.
Yeah. Well, they'll either eat it all or they'll just run around it so much it becomes bald.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad used to despair because in our neighbourhood, our garden was the one that all the kids played in, so our garden was like bald patches everywhere. And we'd be like, why do you go and play in, like, you know, Trevor's garden? Always Mum and Dad don't like that.
Yeah, not allowed to play in there because, yeah.
I climbed the tree once and they shouted at me. Oh! So I was like, well, we could shout at you. He said, yeah, but Mum, you put a climbing frame in our garden, so you kind of asked for it.
Yeah, Mum's only stipulation is people didn't muck around with her flower beds. That was it. Yeah,
which of course they did because she said you shouldn't.
Pretty much, yeah. Who would be the one who would be sent to walk all over it to get his football back? Yeah.
Yep.
And who was the one who got caught every time he went on there to get the football back?
Yep. And who was the one that went to get the football back when everybody asked him to, even though he got caught every time?
Absolutely. But there was a method to my madness, because when I got grounded, that was more model building time for me, see?
Ah, you could get away with it and not have to explain to the other kids.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm grounded. Damn, how long for? Oh, at least 5 weeks. It's like, yeah, grounded for 5 days, but it would turn into 5 weeks.
Yeah. I'm grounded for at least 3 kids. I mean, 5 weeks.
Absolutely. Donald Mackenzie's in the chat saying hello. Hello, Donald. Jason Martin is in, says good evening, gents. Hello, Jason. How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
Space Rangers recording studio, says hi to Colin and Fox. Hello, mate. How are you, buddy?
Hello.
Nice to see you in, mate. What was the other stuff we had back then? Calamine lotion for chicken pox, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we ever had that. I did have, I think I had measles when I was a kid. Chicken pox.
Fuller's Earth, do you remember that?
No, but I know it's what they used in Space 1999 for moon dust.
Yeah. So you'd have that stuff. Obviously the TCP, because, yeah, Mum's loved TCP for some reason.
Mm-hmm. And that was also back in the day of the 70s, is when you used to get the big-ass plaster casts for a broken ankle and things like that, with a big rubber bung on the bottom. Do you remember them? Oh, yeah, I remember that. So, yeah, the like kind of sled thing on the bottom.
Who's messaging me?
Messaging you? This time of night?
Yeah, I get messages 24/7, mate. Yeah.
Oh, the RAC? No. Mollycoddled even, lol. I hate auto. Oh, hang on, I've read that. In my opinion, let's start that again. Clary says, in my opinion, the 80s was the last full generation to be born with a backbone. After that, kids started to be mollycoddled. Yes.
Yeah.
And Space Ranger says, doing okay. How about you?
Fine and dandy, mate. To be honest with you, mate. You know, life goes on and all of that.
Dine and Vandy. D9.
Do you think things... It is a debate. Do you think things changed when caning was stopped in school? You think it changed for the worse or the better, or...
I can't really say, because it wasn't anything that ever really happened in our primary school, and it happened, like, I think once to one kid in our secondary school, so I don't think taking it away made any major difference for us.
Yeah.
For me personally, I didn't go to a school where it was really a capital punishment. A corporal punishment. Capital punishment? No.
You'd get the cane, you'd get the strap, the girls would get the slipper.
Yeah. No.
It was, it was a thing, I was caned several times, but it taught you the lesson.
Yeah.
That was the thing. You knew the consequences of breaking the severest rules. But like anything, kids always try to explore the boundaries, don't they, of the rules?
Yeah.
And once you had explored it and you had received 6 of the best, you was like, yeah, I won't be doing that again.
Nope.
So... again, the teachers, I would say, were a little bit more respected back then.
Yeah.
I don't know why, you wasn't in awe of them, but you respected their authority.
You didn't take the mickey. You didn't take the persistence.
And again, if you did, the blackboard rubber used to be propelled at 330, million light years at the side of your canister,
Yeah, exactly.
They always got you in that same spot, right above your lug hole, and you'd end up smothered in chalk dust. And then you had to get up and take them back, the blackboard rubber that they had thrown at you. That was, fun.
Yeah, it's weird, because, my education started in, 76, I guess.
Yeah.
75, 76, and finished in 1990.
Oh, right, yeah, so you're a bit later than me, yeah.
Yeah, so it was it was on the way out anyway when I started secondary school.
Yeah.
In 83, it was already phased out anyway, I think. And in primary school, it was never really a thing with our school, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, its absence didn't make any difference.
No.
So I cannot speak to that.
No, it was just one of them, it's... I look back at the school life and it was like... Yeah, it was of its time, but if I had the choice of going back to school, I would go back during the same era. I wouldn't change, because I think it was right for its time.
That is the weird thing, is like I hated school. Every minute because I was lazy and I wasn't interested and I just wanted to play with my toys or do whatever it was I was doing when I was older. I had no interest and I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
But now, if I could go back to school now, like as a 54-year-old, and sit and not like go back to school as a kid with my, I'd be on a list. But the thing is, if I could like go back to school now,
yes,
and take the same lessons with the same teachers, I'd probably really enjoy them. Yeah. And that's the strange thing. When I look back on it, it's like literally, come on, you had half an hour with each teacher and you learned a little tiny bit and you wrote some stuff down and that's all you had to do.
Absolutely.
You just spent all day writing things.
Space Rangers agrees it should be brought back. Well, I can remember when I got the cane, I went home and told Mum, and I got a slap off of her and all because, I shouldn't have pushed the limit to have got the cane in her eyes, So, her philosophy was you deserve it then because you've obviously done something really bad to have warranted it. So you ain't getting no sympathy off of me. You're getting one of them round the ear hole. for getting the cane in the first place. And it was like, well, that didn't go as I thought it would.
That wasn't the outcome I was expecting.
She was right, and that was it, Don't you bring shame on the family was her thing, or trouble to the family. That was more of the ilk. Because, they didn't want noses sniffing around, put it that way.
No. But...
And that was it, really. And, I got expelled from one school because I set fire to the wood workshop.
Like you do.
So that got me put to another...
Why did you set fire to the wood workshop?
Because I lost my temper, basically. And it got me a more stricter school where you was basically handed over to your next teacher and signed for type thing, and like a reform school, I suppose you would call it, for the naughty boys, you know what I mean? And I deserved every minute of it because I was a toe rag, but I think for me it was a form of escapism because I was trying to get to the point where I would end up residing at school for different reasons, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that was why I went like I did. But, I learned harsh lessons and paid the price and changed my ways. But I wouldn't change it. But I don't think any of that exists now. So when a child is going off the rails, how are they reeled back nowadays? Because that was what we faced. And respectfully, I think it was the right thing to face because it certainly changed my behaviours. So,
It is an interesting question.
I find it fascinating because I don't know what the boundaries are nowadays. But when you see the news with some of the incidents, I won't go into details of some of the incidents because of YouTube and their policies, but we all hear the news, we all read the newspapers, and we all see some of the things that are going on in our schools. And those of you with children at school probably hear some of the scare stories that they come home with. We didn't have that. If you pushed that boundary, you was punished there and then for the error of your ways. And a lot of the time, quite severely, I don't see that now. So is that why things escalate like they do?
Could be. I mean, I think it's naive to not point some of the blame at just the access that kids have nowadays to stuff on the internet that they didn't have when we were kids.
Absolutely,
I mean, we used to watch... Don't get me wrong, we used to watch, movies and stuff with violence in them. And I'm not sitting here saying violent movies and video games make violent kids, because that's just bollocks. I don't believe in any of that. But there's certainly...
Can we keep the swearing down, dude, in case my monetisation gets hit, Fox?
I know I said that without thinking then.
No,
that's my bad.
I know it's not on your channel, mate, but if you don't mind...
No, that's my bad. I said that without thinking then. But it's like... Yeah, it's just the access to some of the stuff they in social media and stuff that they can get access to now is like not ideal.
But then we had access to extreme visual content, but also don't forget as well, some of us had violence around us, so you mimicked what you saw, didn't you?
Yeah,
to a degree.
I don't think it's violence on TV or in movies and stuff. I think it's more just the kind of people they have access to and the kind of social media content they're seeing, which perhaps sends messages that aren't ideal. Yeah, and they take there's no fighting against that because authority figures like teachers and parents can't compete. Really, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's not the be all and end all. I think that's I think it's part of it. I think.
Chunky's in. Hello, mate. How you doing? Southwest Model has joined us.
Hello, mate.
Saying hello, Colin and Fox and PJ. Jason saying it's a great model to build. What have I missed there, mate? He says a great model to build. Let's see whether I've missed something. Yeah, I'm not sure, mate. But yeah, what model's that, Jason, mate?
Yeah.
Space Ranger says has a lot to do with the parents nowadays. Yeah, mummy, my parents were strict. Again, without going too deep, my old man was a very violent man, and we all received the end of that violence. So when I had my violent outbursts at school, I think a lot of that was due to what I was on the receiving end. I'm not using that to justify what I got up to, but it was all I knew. You got further with a smack in the mouth than you did with asking someone to do something. So it's not a way of condoning it, but it was what it was. And Mum, you know, if I went home and said I've been rollicked by the teacher, I got a lashing off of her as well. So
the thing is, you know, if that's the environment you're brought up in, then you just naturally, as a child, assume that some part of that is just normal.
Yeah, so you went down that road, and you know, I'd get punished for it, rightly so. You know, I deserved it, you know, because I'm mimicking things and you know, you just can't do it, can you? And nowadays, I think that would be spotted in education. I think they would spot the child that perhaps is getting a bit of a slap too often, and you know what I mean. But times were different back then. You didn't have child line. You didn't have anything of that nature. I
mean, you know, people complain about nanny state and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, that has its upsides, which is, for example, like you say, abused children can now get spotted easier by educational staff because they're trained to see things like that. They're trained to spot that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. You know, I got asked in later school by a PE teacher that had spotted, how do I word this, noticeable blemishes. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I have to be mindful, you know, because... Yeah.
Had concerns and leave it at that.
Yeah. Because, you know, Mum's still alive and she does tune in every now and then. So, you know, but I got asked that question, but you didn't talk about it because it wasn't the done thing. You was airing your laundry type of thing, wasn't you? Yeah. And nowadays that's different. I think that's a good thing because if it protects children from it, I look back and think if something like that was around back then, things might have been a bit easier on us all. So,
how different might it have been, you know?
Exactly that. That was what I was looking for, yeah. It is what it is, you know. In a perverse way, I think it makes you the person you become. Does that make sense? You know,
and that kind of experience, it takes you one of two ways. It makes you a better person when you're older, or it makes you equally as bad a person. And in your case, it made you a better person.
When I married and had children, I mean, we'd been married a few years before Lex came along. But I had an inane fear of becoming a parent, and I can remember discussing it with Helen because she had been through a similar experience and expressed my fears that I may turn into him, you know, and I was fearful of that. And, you know, we had them open discussions back then because it was the right thing to talk about. But I always had that in the back of my mind, especially when the boys had been a bit OTT, you know. I never raised hand to them because I did have that spectre of turning into him looking over my shoulder type of thing, you know. So I was always anti slapping of kids and things because it can go too far, can't it, with some parents, and it certainly did with ours. So, yeah, it's a hot topic, isn't it? But we'll move on to something a little bit less.
Yes. Yes, apologies for my swear word earlier. It just popped out. So.
No, it's not the first time tonight. You've dropped a few in, but yeah, I know YouTube are pretty hot at the moment. And if you get noticed for the wrong reasons, they then... If you remember rightly, I was having to pre-approve every single live stream upload because of swears.
A bit weird with it.
So it's not me being a nanny or a pussy.
No.
I'm just trying to protect myself because I had a year of it, and it really did get quite annoying.
What's the word I'm looking for? I'm normally quite
reserved, but
No, careful. I think.
Yeah, there's a few weeks you've done it, and it's like, yeah.
It's not deliberate, but,
I know.
I apologise.
I still loves you, but it's like anything. If I was to do it on one of yours, you'd pick up on it straight away. I know you would, so.
That's true.
Fair's fair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I will go off air and I'll just batter him with a wet mitten.
Yeah, he'll just send me. I'll go to bed with the horse's head.
I'm just going to phone Widdy and say, here, Win, what's that?
Oh.
Yeah, you might notice that there ain't a stream on anymore. Yeah, the well-spoken man. He's been saying grown-up words, Win.
And yeah, can you grass up Mama Wolf while you're there as well?
Yeah, I sent her to Mrs. Doubtfire finger of shame the other day.
Yeah. Mama Wolf was supposed to have an appointment on Wednesday and couldn't be bothered getting up. So missed her hospital appointment.
Yeah.
I grassed her up to the doctor, of course.
And me. He's like, yeah. Guess what, Cole? What's up, mate? I said to him, have I got to let Winnie know? I did offer.
Well, I said to Mama Wolf, I said, I'm going to grass you up to the doctor because you're not getting away with it. I'm going to grass you up to Festa. Oh, no, don't tell Festa. She didn't care that I grassed her up to the doctor, but she didn't want me to tell you.
I know. It's brilliant, isn't it?
I said, well, it's tough. I've already grassed you up to Festa anyway.
Yeah. Jason said it's the F-35B, an amazing piece of engineering. Yes, mate, it is. Space Ranger says, yeah, I understand that, Cole, yeah. Chloe says some schools are great. Ivy had some bullying happen to her when she started in September because of her mobility chair. I can remember you saying this. The school dealt with it straight away, and now it's not an issue. How can someone bully a child in a mobility chair? How cruel have you got to be?
I mean, kids can be pretty cruel, but I think if a kid's also really stupid as well, it probably gets worse from there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this day and age, disability is a lot more spoken about, isn't it? Back in our day, you had a lot of thalidomide victims, you had polio children, didn't you, with braces and things, and they all went back then. This is how draconian society was back then. But they all went to special schools, so they was almost out of the public eye, weren't they?
Yeah, which was stupid, because it's like...
When you think of it, yes.
A kid in a wheelchair doesn't have any educational needs other than...
Shouldn't be a thing,
everything's accessible, yeah.
And luckily, things changed and it started becoming more visible, But we all used to almost have this protective arm around any we came across, because you was aware that their daily struggle was a lot harder than yours, so you kind of took them under your wing.
Well, I think I've said before, when I was in primary school, they used to have a thing where once a week, kids from the local, what was at the time called the special school, which was a school for Down syndrome children, mentally handicapped as they were called then.
Yes.
Kids, they would come and visit, and we'd do like just PE, and we'd all do exercise, and then they'd only be there for half an hour. We got on like a house on fire.
Absolutely.
Great fun.
Some of the most loving children, Down syndrome kids.
Yeah.
Down here, Hilary Jones, the TV doctor, about 6 miles from where we are along the A30, is one of these centres for special needs children, and it's nice because he's so involved with it, you know what I mean? And it's an art because H worked there for a while, and she left in the end because she got herself all upset because she wanted to cure them all, you know what I mean? And it got to her emotionally because of that, so she reluctantly stopped because it was making her unwell, bless her.
Yeah.
She'd be in tears, and it's like,
The irony is, of course, that to the kids themselves, in a lot of cases, they're just living their best life. And
of course they are.
Larry, thank you very much.
Of course they are.
Not always, when they get older and they start to realise, having to try and live in the real world.
Exactly.
It's tougher, but when they're kids, happy as anything, happy as Larry, thank you.
Yeah. Space Rangers says, Jason, did you see Colin's Mustang he's building? Which one, mate? The 1/6 scale or the Eleanor?
Is that 1/6 the biggest one you've got on the go, or is it the Batmobile?
Yeah, I mean, look. That's about as much. Yeah.
That's about as much as you're going to get on the bench right now.
Yeah, look at that.
That's just a beast.
Isn't it?
I haven't seen it actually that in one big single. Oh wow, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a bit of a beastie-kins, mate.
Yeah. And make the most of that, folks, because when it gets the body shell on there, he won't be lifting that up and holding it in one hand.
No, it's 15 kilos or something.
Good God. I mean, my Dodge is 8 keys and that weighs a ton.
Yeah.
My Dodge Charger is 8 kilograms.
So, yeah, it's one of them. But, yeah, I shall do it. I shall bring it out on a Frolic when it's finished and just let you see it all on the bench.
Chew over it. That'll be an easy Frolic because you put it on the bench and then just sit there all night not doing anything.
Yeah.
It'll be a great fun with that.
I've got that one. I've got the Eleanor, the Batmobile. Old Falcon, the Mad Max car. That's garnering a bit of interest now.
Is the Batmobile longer than that, though? Is that still the longest one? No.
Oh, no, that's the biggest one. The Batmobile comes quite close now that it's got the rear end on it, so to speak. So,
yeah, because that's a Futura, isn't it?
Yeah.
Batmobile, is it Chrysler Futura?
Plymouth.
Plymouth, that's it. I don't know why I remember that it was a Plymouth Futura.
But yeah,
Phil Bolton says, hi, everybody. Welcome, Phil.
Hello, Phil. Lovely to see you in, mate. I hope you're keeping well, Phil. You know why I'm asking.
And Spaced says, yeah, that's awesome.
He says, afraid I won't be around for a week or two. I'm checking into one of our mental hospitals. I've not long been out, Philip. I was in, people wondered why I went off grid. I was in Beechwood Ward in Parklands, which is the mental hospital down the way from where I live. And, I can be quite open about it now because, I'm over that little episode. But that's where I go when I have a wobble. And,
go for your service and your MOT.
Yeah, I messaged Fox and said, I'm going into Parklands. Yeah, no worries, mate. So I won't be around for a few weeks just in case. And, doesn't worry me. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I think they're going to name a ward after me at this rate.
Yeah.
But
they'll name one of the wheelchair ramps after you or something.
They're ever so good, And, they're not. They don't mollycoddle you. They sit and they help you, and, So,
the thing is, you always know you're going to get on with them. For people that check themselves in, they always get on with them because they're the least hassle.
Yeah. I sectioned myself,
Yeah. It's like you're checking yourself in. Yep.
Yeah, I felt a danger to myself, and it's one of them. You know when you're not right, and I started taking a little bit of an overly curious interest in the knife drawer, and so and that's my thing. I just get a little bit silly and down in the dumps and think, well, what's the point? And so I can have me little blips now and then, so it happens to us all.
Go in for your mental oil change and rotate the tyres and come back out again.
Absolutely. I do my weekly video calls with Dr. Webster every week religiously, and that's it. So I hope you get the answers you need, Phil. I hope you get settled. I hope you come out of it a little bit more at ease than you currently are, mate. And props to you, mate. Bless him. And this is the thing I noticed now. 20 years ago, people wouldn't have been as open. I mean, I've been criticised by quite well-known people in this community for being so open about my mental health struggles. Well, I'm sorry if it pisses them off. I don't care.
It's nothing to do with them, and you talk about it.
But there was a few negative comments and a few nastinesses, and it's like, get over yourselves. Because at the end of the day, if my struggle and my openness helps someone else overcome their struggle and seek help and support, my work is complete. So
Those people need to understand that there's no such stigma about that anymore.
No, that's right. Yeah, no,
The golden rule: if you don't like what somebody talks about, don't watch their stuff.
Absolutely.
You won't be missed.
But no, so for a while I stopped talking about it, and I was asked why by someone that I've helped in the past, and explained to them why, and there's like, dude, don't let them people control you, mate.
No.
You know, you've helped me, so yeah.
At the end of the day, the simple rule is it's your show. You can talk about anything you want.
Yeah, I know.
Some people struggle to understand that, don't they?
Yeah, but you also have to be mindful as well that people are tuning in for a modelling show, so, you know.
Well, yeah.
I try to keep it at a limit, but when someone is as open as Phil there, to try to make him feel a lot more comfortable and perhaps less stigmatised, I will discuss my own struggles, because if it helps him go through this easier, then fair play.
It's warranted.
Yes. How's chat doing? Phil says, glad it's not just me. This is my third time. He says, I'm sorry, Cole. Why are you sorry, Phil? You don't have to apologise to me, mate. Never have to apologise to me, mate. You know, you've got my utmost respect, mate, for your openness. Yeah, he says his first time. Yeah, depression and anxiety do take their toll. Thank you. Well, I mean, you know, I'm often praised with how I deal with my medical situation. And people go, oh, you know, you're a credit, you're an inspiration. But every now and then I have a wobble because it gets on top of me. You know, it does happen to me as well. And I am fallible, and I don't want people to think I'm invincible, because I'm not. And every now and then all of this can get to me, especially if something has kicked off somewhere as well and it's got a bit silly. It just makes me realise what's the point, you know, if people are going to be dicks and that sort of thing. And then that's my trigger. It sets me on a downward spiral, and I then come to start struggling. And that's when I reach out and go, yeah, I'm struggling now. I need to go and get my head right. And normally it's a conversation with H. I just go, I think you might want to make a phone call, love. And she go, oh, things not great, mate. I go, nah, I think I need to go on. I think I need a few days away, darling. It's nothing you've done.
Yeah, clear your head.
I said, but I've tried kicking this depression, this dip, but I ain't beating it. And I'm getting concerned now because I'm in a dark place. Right, okay, she says. And that's it. Whereas beforehand, I would have already attempted something silly. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the difference now. So.
No, it's commendable that you're able to identify it and know you need to do something.
Never used to. And, you know, I've got the scars on my arms to prove it. Whereas now, because it is such an open conversation thing now, I'm just like, yeah, I think I need to go away for a few days. And they're brilliant because you go in, you know, they obviously do their assessment with you. And, you know, they give you some coping mechanisms to help you on your way again. And that's what it's about.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just about getting perspective, isn't it, from somewhere else?
Yeah.
That you're not going to get just in your own...
Yeah.
In your own thoughts process, you need to take a step back and let someone else have a go.
And H is marvellous because I can unload my demons on her any time, but, you know, she's not a trained psychiatrist at the end of the day. No. She's powerless to help sometimes, and I can see that in her. And obviously the worry of she's going to work and I'm left here, and she's like, oh, God, you know, am I going to come home and he's done something silly? And I know what she's thinking. And to save her from that, I reach out and get the support I need to not put her through that. And I think that's the right choice myself.
Absolutely.
It's
a rare person that can do that.
Yeah, but it gets us all, mate.
Right.
Bill says, thanks, my friend. You've got my details, Phil. You know you can hit me up any time, mate, and I'll listen because I go for it myself, mate. So, yeah. Bless him. Proud of you, mate. Yep. What have we got? We have got 26, is that it? Looks
Let's
like
have a look at quick chat.
Yeah, it is. Happy days.
Chloe says, getting a lot out and not really doing anything with it. I thought that was the way Foxx worked.
He's got it into you today, isn't he?
I know. Phil Bolton says...
she, should I say.
Bill says, I've just finished with therapy. Lucky these days, I know the point to ask for help before I completely spiral. And Phil says, thankfully, most of his Facebook friends are very supportive.
Absolutely.
Max says, right, I'm off to bed. Take care, everyone. Have a great stream. Thanks for the company.
Take care, Max. Always a pleasure, mate.
Yes.
Glad to see that you're back on your feet, Bill. On a personal level, mate, you know why. And again, respect to you, mate.
What I think on, what time do you want to go to tonight, buddy?
What's the hour now, mate?
1:10.
Maximum half 2, mate. I'll see how I feel towards 2, mate.
Yes. Okie dokie.
If that's okay.
Absolutely fine, my friend.
Got a bit of that on there. Or is that a bit of that?
You said a little bit of that, didn't you?
Have a bit of that, my son.
Have a little bit of that.
There you go. So that can go on there. So let's put a bit of liquid stickykins on there.
Oh, I need the thing. Where's my foot? There it is. I've got my God Hands cutting mat out.
Oh, you legend.
That means I'm lining up wheels to be flat on the ground. It's the only thing I use it for at the minute.
Yeah, but it's an asset, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Because I used to use the glass bed of my 3D printer.
Yep.
And I was doing something the other day and I went to put it on there and I'm like, why am I using that when I've got my glass cutting mat just there?
Yeah. Well, I used to have a glass kitchen cutting mat that I used to use for that.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think I did use it when I was doing my Eagle Transporter. Until I realised it's not actually flat. It's warped. So all those times I was using that to straighten things out, it wasn't actually straightening them out anyway. I was like, thanks, whatever that brand, Home Pride.
Yeah, you could never
company.
figure out while your Bane blades were wobbling, could you?
Yeah. I blame it on Home Pride or whoever owns Home Pride because it was a Home Pride cutting mat. Thanks, Gaffer. No, not Gaffer. It was the Fred, wasn't it? The bloke with the bowler hat. Thanks, Fred. Fascist. Unstraight nonsense.
Yeah, the Home Pride cooking sauces.
Yeah, ruining my builds.
I can remember my mum had one of those and it was a big plastic thing on the kitchen worktop.
Yeah.
And he was made up of all different tubs, like Tupperware tubs and stuff. When it all was all stacked together, it was the Home Pride character.
You've just reminded me that one of my friends had exactly the same thing, and I never realised it was stuff. I thought it was just a big plastic bloke.
No,
and I always wanted. I want one of them.
Yeah,
but I didn't realise it was actually things.
Pots. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and you could take it apart. There was like whisks in there. There was different sized plastic mixing pots and things like that, and to take the arms apart, and there was like spatulas and things, and it was kinds of gubbinage in there.
I found a blob lamp the other day in the front bedroom.
Oh, the old lava lamps, yeah?
Yeah, I don't think it was a 70s one. I think it was more like a 80s or early 90s one. But
yeah.
I must try and plug it in, although I haven't got any standard bulbs anymore. So
yeah. Yeah, would modern bulbs be powerful enough to actually do the job?
I mean, LEDs wouldn't get hot enough, I think, is the problem. It's the heat, isn't it, off the bulb? That's what
does it, yeah.
Yeah.
What kickstarts them, innit?
Yeah, so I'm guessing LED bulbs have been the death of blob lamps. I've actually got my window open tonight.
That's what I was saying
February, and I've got
earlier.
my window open.
The man cave window open. It's proper warm.
It's not right, is it? It's February. I can't say February. It's Feb.
Yeah, it's February.
It's post-January, pre-March.
Well, it's going to be March next week, isn't it?
Ooh, it's my mom's birthday in a few weeks.
Happy birthday, Mama Wolf.
86 she'll be.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah. She's only 2 years younger than this house.
No.
This house is thousands of years old. I says to her, it's your birthday in a few weeks, what are you getting me?
You do realise that day she's going to be, I'm staying in bed all day. You'll say, get up, you lazy cow bag. And she'll go, it's my birthday. I'm having a lay-in. She'll have a 1 hour day.
She'll have a 1 hour day. She's had a few 1 hour days. The thing is, in the past, we go to the local garden centre and have like cake and tea and walk round, but she's not gone anywhere in the last few years. She's just not had the desire to go anywhere. I say to her, do you want to go anywhere? Let's go to the garden centre. Or we used to go to, there was a place next door to the garden centre that was like an aquarium place. So it was just but it was like for outdoor ponds and stuff.
Yeah.
So it had these big, like I don't know what you call them, big tanks that you could lean over, and they were open tanks with like sturgeons and things in them and huge fish. She used to like that.
Lindsay's Builds is in, saying hello. Ooh. Hello, Lindsay. Jason says, hi, Festa, I've got an original NSR 500. Do you think the decals will still be okay to use? Well, recently, it's one of my recent videos, I did the Nastro Azzurro NSR 500. And I spray my decals with Plasticoat clear sealer. This stuff. So if they're really old, I give them a couple of coats of that clear gloss. And then if any do start to break, this will hold them together. But you have to cut really, really close to the decal to get them off the backing paper, which a lot of people won't do, mate. Out of interest, let's have a looky, Lou. I might still have a spare set of them. 100% sure where I've put them, to be honest with you. Let's have a look in there. See what we got. Oh, there you go. Because I think the one I had was the Mick Doohan variant, and I swapped the decal set out to do the Rossi's NSR. Let's have a look. If I've still got a spare set, I'll bung them in the post. I think that's them. Because they do yellow, mate. That's the thing. There you go. There's the NSR decal set. But I would normally take that out of the packet, spray them with the plastic coat, go for it. But they actually look all right. I mean, look at them. They look pretty much brand new, mate.
Yeah.
So let me know, Jason, is that the set that you've got? Bung us a messenger, mate, and we'll sort something out.
I didn't know this, but apparently a good way to fix yellowing decals.
Well, you're about to take the conversation I was just about to say by the sound of it.
No, you carry on then. Go on.
These were actually sellotaped to the inside of my conservatory window.
Yeah.
So that they got UV light on them. So, but carry on, mate, anyway.
That's about exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. See, the stupid mistake again that I made is I paused for a breath, didn't I?
Yeah, I thought you'd finished.
No, that's all right, mate. But yeah. So that can help. So if yours are yellow, again, get a little bit of Tamiya tape on the back. Put the decals in, obviously, the polythene. And just tape it to the window, mate, with the decals facing outwards, and leave it there for a week. But yeah. Works on Warhammer decals as well. But yeah, I mean, I didn't use them. I tend to keep decal sets that I haven't used. But if you're in the, how can we say, if you're in the mire, you can always reach out.
Yeah, I never throw decals away.
No. There's always something that you've got that someone else might want or cover. But definitely plastic coats, clear sealers got me out of many a hole with decals. Taping them to the window saved them ones without necessarily having to resort to heavy duty treatment. So.
Just helps keep the film together in one piece, doesn't it, when you lift them around?
Yes.
Tell you what, if I
says Ivy has asked if she can give me the girl's name for the next 2 months. She would like to call him Leah for March, and April it's Tanya. Hey, I've got no problem with that at all. In fact, what we can do is Ivy May can issue the girls' names every month.
Why not?
How's that sound?
Sounds good to me.
We can make Ivy May our official name generator.
Yeah.
I think she'd love that.
Yeah. Can you believe I'm actually using the grid on this cutting mat to line up my arms?
Do you know, I'm so proud of you.
How nerdy is that?
Oh, dude, this is why you're a guru. I keep saying this.
Nonsense. Where are we up to? I like the old light bulb, says Space Rangers.
Yes, I do.
Bill says, it's blowing a gale here today.
Oh, well. It's supposed to be getting quite windy before we have a bit of a warm spell, so...
Yeah. It was windy here last night. Windy pops.
Sure that weren't Mama Wolf?
No, that's a whole different sound, trust me.
Right, let's let them cure for a bit. And then we can
try for a little bit. So
all of the seepage and all of that lot.
She will absolutely love that. I might not, says Chloe.
Well, it's now Ivy May's job. Every month she has to issue a new girl's name.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, you can lump it.
I've got no problem with that, mate.
Mm-hmm. It is decreed. It is the way forward. It is the order of things.
Exactly. That'll make her day, that will.
Yeah. Steve, not so much. So we can expect 1 month will be like Princess Twinkle Toes Unicorn Pixie or whatever, you know.
So you know what's going to happen, Chloe. She's going to say to you one day when you won't let her watch her favourite programme because she ain't done her own work. Yep. She's going to say, if you don't, I am going to give you the most namby-pamby girl's name ever.
Yep. If you're there saying you can't watch Bluey, no.
You're going to have a month of shame, Dad.
And you're going to feel the shame every day, every Friday.
Yeah.
If only there was a way to make him change his Facebook name as well. It'd be even more punishment.
It's going to be quite interesting when she goes back to school because she's going to be sitting there going, I get to do my dad's girl's name every month. And they're all going to be going, okay, right. What's the story behind this then? Yeah. On the YouTube. I'm the official name caller.
Yep.
I'm good for her.
Absolutely.
Helps her feel involved. I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it gives Ivy May a chance to just humiliate her dad, which, you know, we're up for.
Yeah, if it makes his life more difficult, we're more than up for that.
Yeah, we're more than up for that. You know, we've always said we haven't got your back at all, Paul. Just saying.
Yeah. We never said anybody had anybody's back.
Sit that in there.
The thing I've learned over the last sort of 10 years, knowing Festa and Chris Williams and Paul Stewart, is that I've gone from being a kind, considerate person, to whenever somebody says something, just being completely mocking and sarcastic at all times. And I love it.
You've done it at the hospital with your mum, haven't you?
Yeah, even with Mama Wolf, I've had to say to her, look, I'm really sorry about this, but I can't be sympathetic anymore because I know Festa and Chris and Paul, and all I can do is mock you. It's just the way forward now. I've lost the other vocabulary. If you express a weakness, I'm just going to mock you for it.
Oh, that's white. Okay. So I won't attach that. Happy days. Glad I looked at that because I would have glued that on otherwise.
Don't attach that. Don't do that.
And I would have called myself all the names.
That wouldn't have been good.
That's flat black. Okay, don't glue that on yet. Then, Cole, what colour are those? Let's just check the paint code. Metallic blue, so they're going on.
Metallic blue.
Oh.
I can see you. You're made of poo. Metallic blue. Don't ask.
They're going on both very rich. You've got the sniffles bad again tonight.
Yeah, because the lenses, isn't it? Lenses of doom. I need.
So we'll have them on in a
D20
bit.
und D21, ja, das ist richtig.
Right. Dry fit that and do that as a separate piece.
D20 und also D21.
Okay, that's all be done at the end. Said end.
And
Well, going through their carbon, aren't they? So they're to be.
that gives me
detailed.
flashbacks to Cow and Chicken, that does.
Oh, I've got all of them
And
on the server and Johnny Bravo.
hang on a minute, you always said to me that you don't like you don't like modern animation where it's all screechy, loud, piercing voices, but Cow and Chicken was exactly that.
If you hadn't have interrupted me and let me finish, I would have said they was there for the kids, Fox.
Ah.
Oh. One day you'll let me finish a conversation.
You keep pausing. It should
I know,
it
it's
be
my
your
downfall, but you jump straight in with a, oh, you said, and it's like, let me finish a change.
I wait for pauses, but
That's all right, dear.
I always get the pauses wrong.
I know. Bloody useless, that's why.
It is bad.
Right, I want a carbon then, so let's
Carbon.
make a note on those. I'll put it, there it is.
Mama had a chicken. Papa had a cow. Something, something, something. They didn't care how.
Absolutely. Chloe says, yeah, a lot of people in this community have a wide range of issues. It's people like you, Cole, open about your struggles. Look to help people where you can. It's great. Yeah, I mean, it's something I'm proud to do, mate. Yeah, it's caused me a bit of grief over the time, but I make no apologies for it now. So if people don't like it, dare I say it, stiff shit.
Yeah. People give you grief for it, then they're not the kind of people you need to be watching your content anyway.
Exactly. So this is...
So it's no loss. He says, the mocking can begin. I've just laid my hand into the blob of superglue whilst doing photo etch work and stuck myself to the top of a plastic takeaway lid.
I'm so glad it's not just me.
Yep, there you go. That makes you a Festa. Also a Ted, if you can stick the lid to the bench at the same time. That makes you a Festa and a Ted.
100% sure of that.
Is your Tammy a kit giving you tricksy bits?
Yeah, I'm just thinking out loud, mate.
Ah.
As I mark up, probably, it's no different to what a lot of other people do, but I go through and I annotate my instructions.
Oh, yeah.
So that as I'm coming through towards the prepping for paint, assembly and all of that, like, I actually know colours and whether, things are carbon fibre, metal or what, because it just makes it easier for me to stop flipping backwards and forwards through the instructions. I just make a note on there.
It's a valuable technique.
because, you know, a lot of this is going to be decal wrapped as well, which is, yeah. Because a lot of the MotoGP bikes have a hell of a lot of carbon fibre parts nowadays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just makes it a bit sexy, doesn't it?
Bring on the carbon fibre of doom.
So that's Ali, but these are carbon.
Sound that, you sponge.
Just makes it look a bit sexier, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I've got some detail up for this as well, so...
I've realised that's a really big instruction sheet as well. I forgot that Tamiya instruction books are quite massive. I like that about instruction books.
It's carbon.
Your carbon.
I made a carbon.
Funnily enough.
Yes, go on.
I was going to say, aren't we all?
I am all ears. Yes, we are.
Yes.
That's... because I get to have a carbon fibre decal day, you see, so that won't turn into a swear fest at all.
No. There'll be no reason to use big grown-up words at all at that point.
Have some. Sucking that. Why not?
Why not, indeed?
Here's all detail up. Don't need that.
Really? It just sits like that. That's meh.
Cool. So I'll put an asterisk under there. Okay, they're done, and they're done. I've lost the bit on the instructions where the other part is. It's because it's on the next page.
Burke.
Carbon, I think. Check that. Same with that.
You should do a bike kit where everything on it, apart from the silver exhaust, the chrome exhaust, is carbon. Just everything, every surface.
Well, saying that, there is a bike I've got spare as a MotoGP bike, and I might do that as the test bike, because when we have MotoGP testing, any new parts that they're going to fit on the bike for the following season get homologated. But when they change, say for instance, this section here was getting modified for next year, then that wouldn't be painted at the test. That would be black carbon fibre.
Yeah.
Because it's a new test piece, say with a fairing, if that's getting modified. So I've got a spare GP bike that I could do full carbon fibre on.
Yeah. But like every single component that isn't like hot metal.
Yeah.
Like spokes, tyres.
So
windscreen.
Yeah, you'd struggle to see where you were going, but I get what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that, and that. Check that as well, Cole. That says TS 14. Let's have a looky load. Yeah. Not 100% sure on that, so we'll Google that.
I like to Google.
Get a bit of researchness, that is, and so's that. Bit of research.
That's northern research. That's even better.
Yeah.
The best research.
Absolutely. Right, there can be carbon. Why not? Have some of that. These are, I think, let's just check the colour. Oh no, they're sparkling silver, just as well you check that, Carl.
Sparkling silver. D23, D24. Okay.
That's all carbon, all of that lot.
Your carbon. D24.
Yeah, so's that, and so are they.
D24, D23 will be on a completely different sprue, so not D then.
Absolutely.
There
They're all flat black underneath the fairings, underneath the arches. Been a while.
Yeah, hasn't it?
Right, that's that done.
23.
So they're all annotated.
I don't know if this is D.
I
I love the way they mark in the instructions like the sprues A, B, C, and D, but they don't actually mark the sprues on the sprues. So
No.
saying part D24 is completely useless because I don't know what D is. DW is like 2 steps forward and 2 steps back in it sometimes.
Yeah. Carbon as well. That's all for the fork detail up. Happy days. Right, so that's that all annotated. Bits to come off there, and then we can sit and are all of these bits. Yeah.
This man thought he was annotating his instructions, but he was annotating his life. Now
Wouldn't
in
it be
theatres.
cool if Morgan Freeman narrated your life every day? So
Now
cool.
I'm annotating these instructions. I can't do Morgan Freeman. I never said I could.
Yeah, I would have given up while she was behind there, mate.
Yeah, well, it was worth a try because I had a 50-50 chance of it sounding reasonable or terrible. So I was like, well, I'll give it a go.
You gave it a go. Proud of you for your attempt, mate.
Yeah, if you don't try, you don't fail miserably.
Right, that's that, and that.
No
Come
person
out.
chat.
Yeah. Oh. Days. Right, let's do a bit of drillage.
Wait, is this really just a random piece of that you just literally just slap anywhere?
Don't forget, folks, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. Fox looks forward to answering them all for you.
Right. I resemble that remark. Oh, is that a map? Oh, it's a map. Okay.
I'll cut you with your madness.
I was like, I looked at this and thought they give you this piece just to randomly slap there wherever you want. I'm like, what a completely random piece of panelling that is. It's just filling out the sprue, but like, oh, hang on, no, it's paper, it's a map. It's like the target map. It's not exactly made obvious, but I suddenly realised it's meant to be like the map. Okay. I was like, what an absolutely pointless extra panel. Just trying to make an extra bit on the sprue or something. Just sits there like that, does it?
Yeah, today Games Workshop give you an extra bit that is useful. Yeah. He's thinking out loud there about the Rogo Dawn missing panel.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny that the first thing I thought was they must have had a gap on the sprue and needed to put something there, so just slapped a pointless extra panel on it. We don't trust them at all, do we?
Still haven't got round to finishing the weathering on there.
I haven't got one. I keep meaning to order one and keep not getting one.
It's one of those.
You're one of those.
It's a great little tank, I must admit.
Yeah. Of all the Warhammer tanks, it's the most kind of real world believable.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's just that in-between of a Lehman Russ and a Baneblade.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You know, it's that in-betweeny scale. And they're a good little tank. They go together really well, mate.
Yeah. It's like, the Lehman Russ, you think, yeah, that's not really much very practical. You wouldn't really... It's not really... There's no suspension in it. It wouldn't really work. But the Rogel Dawn, you're like, that could be a real tank.
Yeah. Yeah. Just so happens to have the Lehman Russ looking rather dusty.
Oh. Lehman Russ.
And the Rogel Dawn, besides.
The paints are calling.
Let's just stand him up on there.
See, I like the fact that the Rogel Dawn has that kind of hint of a World War II Matilda tank, because it's got the mud shoots down the side.
Just gives you that little difference in scale, doesn't it? So, yeah. Yeah, good little tanks then. We'll get round to finishing.
Yeah.
Get your Lehman Russes here.
Get your Lehman Russes
£8
here. I'd probably just sit there racked with indecision whether I should put the covers on the wheels or not.
What's that? On the
on the Rogel, because you can have the wheels uncovered.
you can have all the tracks exposed and that, yeah.
And I'll be like, yes, but no, but yes, but no, but and I never make a decision.
Yeah, I couldn't not do a bottom plate. It was like, yeah, can't have a big hole in it. It's like, nah, sod that. Can't have that.
Can't have a big hole on your bottom.
So when you do get yours, hit me up and I'll print you the base cover.
Oh, yes, you said you'd do me I shall. Khajiit will give you some coin if you have hole-filling plate.
Yeah. For those unsure what we mean, when you buy these, for some reason GW left this bottom panel missing, so you had a big square open area underneath, and they said it's so that you can store your turret in there to make it easy for you to transport. It's like, yeah, so I just designed my own little cover and 3D printed it, and it just, for me, finishes it off.
Everybody in the world thought, no, it's just so you can get it down to 2 sprues and not have to have a bigger box.
Because all I do when I take or need to change it, I've got the spare guns in there, see?
Yeah, just put them there.
So just remagnetise them on. Happy days. I'll actually put that dude in there that keeps falling off for now, and I'll get round to weathering this bad boy up. But it's a handy little tank, it really is. I think so anyway. Let's just bung you back. Onto the shelf, what's the... Bobby says, ha 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 ha. Now I'm worried why you're saying all the ha 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 ha's. Fox's audio's gone quiet. Are you muted?
Oh, I put my thing on mute and it didn't unmute.
There you
Cursed button.
I was going to say, I thought I can't get 6 words in a row without asking whether there's
something's not right.
Whether there's a problem your end, mate.
Yeah, I was just saying, I can't wait till, I really hope that GW do some plastic Macarius tanks, because they are just the bee's knees, those tanks.
Yeah.
They're the best tanks they've ever done, but making them in resin is hard.
Well, we've got the big old Orc Tiger to do, yeah, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Yes.
Looking forward to that.
It will indeed, yes, much be.
Must admit, I'm looking forward to painting that bad boy.
It will indeed be a jolly moment of painting that moment.
It's all, what's the word, been cleaned and washed and mould release removed and all of that lot. So that's
very good. It's all prepared and ready.
All prepared and ready, mate. It's literally just there on the left.
I've not even made mine yet.
Yeah, I suppose that'll be the next thing. Get it all assembled and cured and everything, so that it can just be primed and ready then. Might as well build it, prime it, and have it ready for when we start painting them. Yeah.
They actually give you a set of chocks that go under the wheels of this artillery piece.
Oh, right.
Like they put them down. It's like chocks held together with a piece of rope or wire cable that go under the wheels.
Look, it is a thing that exists in the real world, isn't it?
Yeah. So when it fires, it doesn't...
You know what that means? You get to say, chocks away.
Chocks away, Ginger. I was about to say, when it fires, it doesn't move forward, but it goes backwards when it fires.
So yeah, it recoils backwards, doesn't it? Yeah.
I guess it's so it ends up where it started off.
Yeah.
Then I have to choose what cannon I want.
All the cannons, not just one.
All the cannons, so many cannons.
See, if I had one of them, it'd be, yeah, you ain't getting options, Cole. You've got to put all the guns on it.
Yeah, you need that gun, that gun, that gun, and that gun, all on the same cannon.
You know I would do it.
Yeah.
I would do it as a Gatling cannon, see, so it all revolves round and chooses different barrels.
Well, the thing is, I'm already channeling you because I'm looking at that one there, and I'm thinking there's a big flat surface there. You could put one of these two on top of that.
Absolutely.
And then that one could go on top of that one, and this one, I don't know about that one.
You know you want to.
No. I'm not you. I don't have the... I don't have the what's the word? The fudge foo. Yeah. I can't fudge things that way. What's the... Not the Festa foo, maybe.
Absolutely. Jason says, I find the carbon decals look better when they've been coated with a thin coat of 2K. It uses gravity 2K, apart from the metallic difference on the engine makes it pop. Yeah, it is getting 2K'd, mate, the bike and all the carbon. I have my 2K here.
2K.
He says, trying not to knock everything off the shelf that's behind the iPad.
2K or not 2K? That
there
is
you go.
the question.
Because, yeah, there you go. There's all the 2K. Like Festas, 2K clear lacquer type stuff. It's lacquer and it's 2K. So, there you go. Festas Fluids Foxx 2K.
Not 2K? 2K.
Yeah, that's what he did there. So, yeah. Go on.
I think I'm just going to go for the normal big shooty boom tube.
Shooty boom tube. All the boom
I like all these
tubes.
ones are like 5 cannons and 5 turrets, but there's just something about the classic single barrel big earth shaker cannon that, you know.
Absolutely. Phil's off to catch the bus to the ER. Please keep me in your thoughts. Phil, hope you get yourself sorted, mate. And when you are back on the scene, mate, and you just want to chill, mate, you know where I am. I'm thinking of you, mate. But please let me know how you get on, mate. Yeah, if you could.
Yep.
Just let us know you're back to the world of the living, mate, because I do worry.
Mm-hmm.
Bless him.
Aye.
See, am I sad, right? Am I sad for sitting here thinking this is so therapeutic drilling out a brake disc?
No.
I like all these silly repetitive tasks. There's a lot of people hate doing tank tracks and things like that with all the different pads and that. I love it. I just sit there and I'm like, in my own little world.
Bit.
Yeah.
You don't have to think too much. You can disengage your brain and just daydream while you're working. You get away with it.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Daz.
I've got that big old Chieftain tank, you know, that Tony built.
Yeah.
And I've got that as a build to look forward to. And the thing I'm looking forward to is all the tank tracks. Yeah. He says, thank my friend, I will. Take care. No worries, Phil. Like I say, I just, you know, my thoughts are with you, mate. And I will worry if I don't hear from you, mate.
Yeah. Can I glue this on after the fact of painting? Yeah, I think I can.
Yeah.
I think I can.
You can, you know.
Well, I was going to do it to the base, but then I can't get under here to paint some of the wooden bits and stuff, and under there. But I've got these 2 big flat, like, floor pads there.
Yeah.
And I'll have the chocks on the ground where I can have the chocks there, and I can put a bit of glue on the wheels and the floor pads, and then I can glue it to the base once it's painted.
Yeah.
And that'll probably work, but then I'll have to put stuff underneath it first, but I'll have to plan it carefully out.
Oh dear.
That'll do. Because if I glue it on there, I can't get underneath it.
No.
Which you might not see, but then again, that's not the point.
Now, you can temporarily adhere with a bit of super glue whilst doing some stuff. And like I say, then when you want to do the bottom, just pop it back off, can't you?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Well, I can use the chocks as a guide for gluing it later. And so I've got those 2 like floor plates.
Exactly.
And there's me being all careful, making sure all the wheels and stuff are flat on this glass mat. And then you put it on the base and it's like, because the base isn't flat.
Oh, yeah, the bases are notoriously bish, aren't they?
Base. How low can you go?
But you can bung them in a pot of really, really warm water. And then, they'll cool down and conform to your cutting mat then, won't they?
You will conform. Conforming is required.
I had that on one of my oval Warhammer bases. It was proper warped. And I just bunged it in a bowl of boiling water and stuck it on the Godhands mat. Couple of rubber bands around it. Done.
Yeah, I had one that was like a Mobius strip. It was like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dee. Look, folks. Spanner. There you go. Just thought I'd say that.
Happy days. You're a spanner.
You're made of spanners.
I certainly am. Come with my own spanner. 10 mil.
If you were a tool, what tool would you be?
An adjustable spanner.
And just a bus bar. I don't know what tool I'd be. I don't know enough about tools really. I don't know why I asked that question because I've got no way to answer it.
Yeah, manly tools is really what you're well known for, Fox, isn't it?
I'd be like, I don't know, a shoehorn or something. One of them plastic ones we used to get in the 70s.
Yeah, the long-handled one so you don't have to bend over.
Yeah. Oh man, I went on one of those like accidental Google adventures, Wikipedia adventures the other day.
Oh, good man.
I can't remember how it started out, but I ended up going to watch Yellow Submarine on YouTube, which I haven't seen since I was a kid.
Oh, right, yeah.
And after 20 minutes realised it's absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
It's just absolute garbage. You can't watch it.
Yeah.
And then ended up on another YouTube adventure, Wikipedia adventure, which culminated in me actually remembering, or being reminded that there was a Beatles cartoon series in the 60s.
Yeah.
And then watching an episode and being like, this is the worst thing I have ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah.
It's like one of the voice actors for half of the Beatles was American and could not do anything remotely like a Liverpool accent. It was just like, oh, blimey, Governor, I'm John Lennon.
No. Dick Van Dyke special, was it?
Yeah, and it was just like, oh, and the other guy was an English actor but still couldn't do a Liverpool accent. It's like, oh God, what is this drivel? Why did people make this? Why were there 36 episodes? Oh.
Because they could.
Apparently the Beatles had nothing to do with it. But in later life, George and Ringo said we thought it was quite cool, quite funny. No, it was terrible. And I seem to vaguely remember this when I was a kid, but obviously I was a kid and didn't realise how terrible it actually was.
Yeah. So, Mr. Harrison, how many of your special brand cigarettes had you smoked before you realised it was cool?
Yeah. And then I went from somewhere after that. I can't remember where I went after that.
I was on an IMDb one looking for an actor, and it was like many hours later. It was like
It is just like the worst possible thing, isn't it? You just end up trapped forever.
Well, I can't remember what it was. It's something to do with Space 1999, and then I got into looking into old episodes of the Zoo Gang and things like that, and I'm like, I really need to get out more. It's like, 1970s telly, it was kind of cool, wasn't it?
It was great when you were there, and then when you look back at it now, a lot of it you think, oh dear God.
Yeah, I rewatched some episodes of Starsky and Hutch, and it was like, I can't remember it being this bad.
Oh, what terrible decisions were made.
Yeah. Only good thing, Huggy Bear.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, it was like, okay, how many circles do we want to drive in this car around these cardboard boxes and fruit stands?
Oh, yeah. Always the way.
The obligatory love scene in every episode. Oh, this week it's Starsky's turn.
See, I haven't actually done that, so I don't remember any of this. I can thankfully not claim to remember any of this.
Watched an episode of Kojak the other day. It was like, oh, yeah, bit of Telly Savalas. Cracking.
And was it good or terrible?
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was like, I liked a bit of Kojak.
I did have occasion to watch about 2 years ago. I stumbled across a couple of episodes of the Rockford Files and really quite enjoyed them.
Well, Telly Savalas and that, they were actors of that generation like him, Yul Brynner, people like that. You watched them. I mean, I've lost count how many times I've watched The King and I. No one could have played that role better than Brenner.
No.
It's just one of those, all right, he was typecast because of it, but
Hey, he's getting paid, he didn't care.
He didn't care, did he? But he did it justice because he did all the stage shows and everything as well of it, didn't he? So
that's a funny thing when you get actor interviews and they're like, and they've done a film that's flopped and they say, how do you feel about this film that you're in that was terrible and everybody hates it? And they're like, pay for my mortgage, I don't care.
That's what Michael Caine says, isn't it?
Yep.
Why have you done so many B movies? Why? Because I knew I needed a pension one day.
Yeah.
Who loves, who could argue that? Edward Leonard is in. Squishy alert.
Slow, relaxed one tonight.
I keep expecting my squishy to go on your screen then. I don't know why.
What, as it goes across to the middle?
Yeah, as we go across the middle like that,
Oh,
see?
try and coordinate it, and then it'd be like...
Yeah, here it goes.
My hand's too close. That could have almost been a magical moment.
There you go. But yes, the legend that is Edward, Lord of Leonard, is in. He says, I hope everyone's doing okay. Question for Fox. Do you still keep your hair extension ponytail on your bedside table? Sorry, Fox. Yeah, it's in the same shelf as his box with the white gloves in it.
No, it's in a drawer in the front bedroom somewhere.
No, it's stuck on the back of his head.
No. There's no way to attach it now.
There are some things that you're never going to be allowed to forget, young Mr. Wolf, and that is one of them.
I am not ashamed of the things I did when I was an idiot, young idiot. I'm an older idiot.
Helen often reminds me of Mullet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
she often reminds me when I get out of hand and boisterous. Would you like me to post the pictures online of the mullet? Love, I will agree with everything you say, dear.
Yep. Edward says, who loves you, baby?
Absolutely.
We're up to... If I was a tool, says Chloe, I would be a drill. It would be the most action I would have seen in years.
Oh, bless you. I feel sorry for him now. Should have a whip round and send him a bit of company, folks.
Would he be one of those little bits?
I see what he did there.
Bill says, I was channel surfing the other day. What have they done to Scooby-Doo? It's so messed up. I don't know.
Do you know, right? I'm going to have a wibble now. I can feel it.
Right, I'll just go and make a brew while you're doing that.
Right, I've got to ask this question now because it's bugged me for years. Scooby-Doo, I loved Scooby-Doo. And then they brought along Scrappy. And I hated that little git. I think he killed a perfectly good cartoon. Are you agreeing with me, or do you think I've lost my marbles?
No, I agree. And I read an interesting article that I think talked about whose decision that was.
Yeah.
And I think Hannah and Barbera, or whoever the producer was, they
Didn't
thought
they
it was a
fall
good idea
out?
at the time.
Yeah.
I think they eventually didn't take them long to realise they'd made a terrible mistake, and it was one of their big regrets. Scrappy did.
Because this git, and I'm going to grass him up, he thinks I've forgotten. You. Yeah, you.
I've said nothing. What?
This git systematically tried to wind me up the other night by bombarding me with shrinkflation pictures. And he was most perturbed that I kept hitting back with very well thought out analytical reasons as to why they may have shrunk.
I could hear your teeth gritting there and grinding.
Yeah, I was stoned on post-dental medication.
Yeah.
That's a point. Panzer's in, isn't he? Is Panzer still in?
Did he say he was going?
I don't know. But Panzer, in case you're watching this back, there is the remnants of the tooth.
Festa has been to the dentist. He's been a big boy.
I got my big boy pants on said tooth.
Yep.
Well, it came out in several bits, but yeah, look at that. I think that was what we would classically say, clagged.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The infamous tooth. He said to me that I should cast it in resin with the pliers.
Yeah. So the pliers are there, but like have that like almost like the Jaws poster. So you got the pliers there, and then the tooth just above them.
Tooth in between. But yeah, he says they also ruined Looney Tunes by cutting them up. Yes, mate. Yes.
Cutting them up. What does that mean? I don't know what it means.
Yeah, Chloe, I watched an episode of that as well, mate. Mind your language, and was quite shocked as to how bad it was. Yeah. Certainly wouldn't be made nowadays. Very stereotypical.
Yes.
Programs of their time. You watched an episode of On the Buses, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Out of curiosity, I watched episode 1 of On the Buses. And I sat there and I was like,
yeah.
No, I mean, apart from the fact it had the actor who did the grimacing face and that's all he ever did.
Oh, yeah, Blakey.
Yeah, although I did go and watch...
Butler.
I did go and watch an interview he did in many years later when he was an old man, and he's like a lovely guy, and he's like, yeah, but I just wish he hadn't done that grimacing face all the time.
Yeah, it's like that twitchy bloke off of the carry-on films, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, I watched this episode and I'm like, it's not actually funny at all in any way, shape or form.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it?
And then that sent me off on another Wikipedia adventure. Apparently, did you know? Apparently, they approached one bus company to use their buses, and they turned them down. So they had to go to a different bus company. I don't know why. They had to go for a smaller, less reputable bus company.
Oh yeah.
Funnily enough, and when you see the double-decker bus in the indoor garage, in the indoor shots where it's in the garage pulling in, that's actually a single-decker bus.
Yeah.
But the upstairs bit is made out of like card and wood because they couldn't get a double-decker bus in the studio.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, interesting point.
Good factoid, mate. You can have that bad boy.
That's literally the only interesting thing about that. I watched most of that first episode and I'm just like, oh, that's why, because I was doing a Google search of what aired on the day I was born.
Oh, right, yeah.
And at 7:30 at night, it was on the buses.
Yeah.
On the day I was born. I mean, literally on the day, not just on my birthday, on the actual day. And it's like, yep, on that day, 1971, on the buses at 7:30. I'm like, oh, let's see what this,
Yeah.
I think I would have been about 2.5 hours old when that was first aired. And I was about 1,000 years old after the first 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I can't watch any more of that.
Chloe says, I think a lot of people hated Scrappy Doo. Spoiler alert, I think that's why they made him the baddie in the live action film.
Yes.
Bill says it's the old tooth and nothing but the tooth. Crown Court. I used to love watching Crown Court. I once feigned illness just so that I could stay at home and watch Crown Court.
Mm. There used to be a website called TV Cream that documented all the classic TV series from the 70s and 80s. And in the description for Crown Court, it was said 90% of the viewers were schoolboys skiving off school drinking Lucozade because they've told their mums they weren't well.
Yeah. A lot of well-known soap opera and TV show actors cut their teeth in Crown Court.
Yep. Yep.
That would be good if they brought it back, but would it be the same? I don't think it would.
Nah. I wish somebody would do a TV series now, but that was set in the 70s. But what I mean is, somebody needs to make a TV series that is not only set in the 70s, but also made to look like it's been made in the 70s.
Did that with Life on Mars, didn't they?
Yeah, but it was still a modern thing. But I mean, actually use 1970s like equipment and gear and production values and just make it look as if it's literally been just made. Because that'd be brilliant. That'd be awesome. Some sort of simple, innocent times. Have like really bad green screen effects, things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Life on Mars was good, though.
Good show that was. I liked it.
The sequel, it was all right.
Yeah, Ashes to Ashes.
But that was the 80s. I didn't like the 80s, so I didn't feel as...
Edward says, like, Wild Coyote didn't get slammed to the ground by the rock falling from something he planned how funny it would be. I used to like that. At me, rocket boots. It's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was the way he just used to look at the camera before he fell down the ravine. It's like,
hold up a little sign saying, help.
Yeah. A little gulp. It's like, oh.
Warner Brothers, apparently, there is a Roadrunner versus Wile E. Coyote movie.
Oh, right.
That would have come out, I think, last year.
Yeah.
But Warner Brothers went through a spate of killing projects that had been finished before they released as tax breaks.
Oh, right, yeah.
So they basically made the full film and then wrote it off and said, yeah, it's never going to be released.
No, really?
For tax purposes, they just killed it off.
Yeah.
So there's this whole movie, and it was I did read an interview from one of the guys that worked on it saying, you know, they put a lot of heart and passion into it, and he said it was actually a really good movie.
Yeah. Oh,
it was a real good homage, and it'll never be released. It's just sat there in the archive.
It's like, really?
Yeah, it's like the Batwoman film. They finished that and it was ready for release and distribution.
Yeah.
They canned it as a tax write-off.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
It apparently wasn't very good, the Batwoman movie.
No, YWOBB Coyote.
Oh yeah, I'd watch that. Oh yeah.
All day long.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a new Looney Tunes movie coming out.
That'll be us two then.
Oh yeah.
I love all them cartoons of that era, though. They were mint.
I was always a Warner Brothers. I didn't like Disney as a kid. I hated Disney because it was too goody two-shoes, but I loved Warner Brothers because it was anarchic and dark.
Well, it was a bit like Blue Peter and Magpie, wasn't it? Blue Peter was always stiff upper lip, whereas Magpie was for the council estate kids, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Blue Peter was always, your mate who's in the Scouts and never swears. And Magpie was like Jack Hargreaves explaining how a pipe works. No, I was never into Disney. I used to hate Disney, and I also didn't like DC. I think that's why I always liked Marvel more than DC, because Marvel was like Batman, and whereas DC was like, oh, Superman. Ugh, I hated Superman.
Edward says my father named his first tool and die machine shop Acme Tool and Die. Laugh out loud. Brilliant. Bill says used to watch Sons and Daughters going home from lunch, knew as soon as it finished it was time to get going back to school. I used to watch the Sullivans. Do you remember that?
Sullivans, yeah. I've now got the Sons and Daughters theme tune in my head. Oh, man.
It's the fact you remember it.
I remember all the theme tunes. I don't remember the Flying Doctors theme tune, and I don't remember the Sullivans.
Do you remember the Littlest Hobo?
I never really watched it. For many, many years, I didn't even remember that the Littlest Hobo was a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
I thought it was some smaller dog, like kind of like Heinz 57 thing. And when it was like, it's a German, I'm like, really? Really? I thought it was a small dog. So I don't think I watched it that much.
The Life and Times of Grizzly Adam.
Yeah, I remember watching that, but I don't remember anything about it.
Large man with beard goes living in the woods with a bear.
Avec le bear.
Suppose now that would be living off grid, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That'd be living off grid, probably a suspect from some law enforcement agency chasing you down for being slightly dubious.
It's going to get every American federal agency knocking on your door. Isn't it? It's like,
all the alphabet agencies chasing you down.
So what are you getting up to in this cabin in the woods, mate? Well, it's just me and me bear, look. It's like, oh, yeah.
Just me and my bear in this encyclopedia of...
Yeah, tell us a bit more about this bear then. Yeah.
Yes, I shall be back in one moment.
Yeah, no worries, mate. But yeah, Life and Times of Grizzly Adams. Gentle Ben, that was it. Boy has a bear as a pet. Yes. Gentle Ben. Wow, forgotten about that. Because we used to get Skippy, the Sullivans, Tarzan. I used to love a bit of Tarzan. Staple Saturday viewing, Tarzan. I used to watch it when Ron Ely was Tarzan, and it was like, yeah. I thought it was a great era of Tarzan, that was. I love that film TV show even. Surprising, really. You don't hear of Tarzan now, you know. Is it a generational film? Has the generations moved on that much where that is now irrelevant? I know they did a couple of movies of Tarzan, didn't they, and tried to reinvigorate the franchise, but just re-show some of the Ron Ely series. I think that would work. I don't think it would be... Would it be dated and of its time now? I don't think there was anything controversial in there to do with language used or anything like that. Unless it's licensing, of course, but bring back Ron Ely's Tarzan. Because before him, it was Johnny Weissmuller, wasn't it? The ex-bodybuilder, Mr. Universe, whatever he was. But I just remember Ron Ely as Tarzan. He died not long ago, actually. Yeah, bless him. Well into his 90s. Great TV shows. Because that used to be on, I think, after Swap Shop ended, if I remember rightly. Or was it during Swap Shop that they used to play the episodes of Tarzan? They used to be on a Saturday. Thunderbirds, that was another one I remember as a kid. All the Jerry Anderson stuff. Captain Scarlet, wasn't it? Stingray was another one. Someone's put in the chat there, Flipper. Yeah, Flipper. I remember a bit of Flipper. There was a Disney Tarzan in the 90s that was pretty good, says Chloe. Edward says it was pretty genius if you think about it, which I didn't realise until I grew up. If you think about a phone book, which was all we had, he was one of the first phone numbers shown for that service, yes. Yeah, phone books, are they still a thing? It's a point. We used to get one every year. Big old, I don't know whether you get them stateside, but it was basically a big, thick phone book of all the numbers in your area, all the residential plus business numbers and that. Back in the day when you had phone boxes in the high street where you used to make all your phone calls because phones in houses weren't a thing back then. I remember when Mum first got her phone indoors, it had a lock on the dial to stop the kids from using it. And a big old dial on it where you had to go a full circle to get the numbers, wait for it to go back, then the next one. And if you dialed wrong midway through, you're like, oh, I've got to start all over again. All right, when it was local London numbers, but when you was dialing out, it used to be a bit of a ball ache. And being in London, you used to get phone books for different boroughs. So you would always have a huge stack of them in your way because some of your relatives lived in one borough, some lived in another. So you would have phone books for each different borough of London back in the day. So yeah, it'd be quite a voluminous thing, whereas nowadays it's all different, isn't it? All digitised, I suppose, now. And you used to pick up the phone, you used to do 100 for the operator, sit and talk to the operator. You find me the number for such and such, such and such. Yeah, just connecting you. Happy days. Back in the days when a real person answered. Right, that is disc brake fully drilled out, folks. There you go. Just makes a difference, doesn't it? All them holes drilled through. A lot of people will go, why bother? Why? Because it just makes it look a bit more real, doesn't it? I mean, it does anyway.
You showing off your holes on telly?
I am, mate. All the holes.
All the holes.
So many holes. I think all right, guys.
Yeah. Do you know what's stuck in my head right now?
What?
Dempsey and Makepeace.
No.
And it's absolutely one of the worst theme tunes ever written.
Yeah.
Because it was English composer trying to make an American theme tune, but put a French horn in it, and it just didn't work.
Was it Michael Brandon and Glynis Barber?
Yep.
Dempsey Makepeace?
Yep. But it's just like you're trying too hard to make an American New York cop style theme tune, and it just didn't work.
Every schoolboy back then wasn't interested in Dempsey, were they? Let's be honest. You know, it was all
they
about.
Were very, very strictly focused on certain things.
It was all about Makepeace, wasn't it?
Bill says Black Beauty on Saturday tea time.
Oh yeah, Stacey Dornan, wasn't it? Was one of the characters. Chloe
says Gentle Ben, boy has a bear as a pet.
Yeah.
Final episode, it rips him to shreds and disembowels him.
Yeah.
He used to love watching Flipper.
Yeah,
Did you know the sound of Flipper was actually a kookaburra sped up?
Really?
Apparently, it was the sound of a kookaburra, but speeded up. I don't know why they didn't just use the sound of a dolphin because, you know.
Oh, yeah, it would have made sense, wouldn't it?
Because they don't go, whatever it is that, you know, anyway. He also says there was a Disney Tarzan movie in the 90s which was pretty good, and now I've revoked all his cool cards because no. Disney movies, no.
You're getting on your high horse again, aren't you, dear?
No. Disney tells me no. Just
Yeah, you are, aren't
you've
you?
lost all your cool points. You have to start from the bottom again.
I can see it. I can see it. He's going to have a wibble. It's coming.
Edward says, it was pretty genius if you think about it, which I didn't realise till I grew up. If you think about a phone book, which was all we had, he was one of the first phone numbers shown for that service. What?
Yes.
What's that?
Scroll up, dear.
Be-dee-dee-dee-dee. Beverly Hillbillies. Oh no, I couldn't watch that.
Beverly Hillbillies. Do you remember the Waltons? Nightmare, Nightmare.
For some reason, things like the Beverly Hillbillies and the Addams Family and stuff, and the Munsters, they just made me angry. I couldn't watch them. I don't know why.
I used to watch them, Addams Family and the Munsters. Just love the Munsters.
I just think that kind of like 60s American comedy just made me angry. I don't know why. It's irrationally, but I know. But and Bill is now everybody's enemy because he says, earworm of the day, the Van der Valk theme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I would remind people, but I don't want to.
Ironside?
Yeah, Ironside. Don't remember the theme tune, but I remember the Ironside.
Yeah.
It is 2:15.
Yeah, that's why I'm winding down with just a bit of gentle sanding, dear.
Gentle sanding. Gentle sanding, sanding gently. Yeah.
Managed to drill out all my brake disc. They've all got to be prepped where they're multiple parts. Let that glue go off.
Mm-hmm.
Go in and de-seam all of them during the week.
Prepulation is complete.
Absolutely, mate. It's just nice to get something built, isn't it? And get back to it.
You're back to it.
Absolutely.
Back to it. Isn't he a character from Star Wars?
I see what he did there. Actually, dokily, let's just have a looky-loo at the chat. Bewitched, he had a crush on Elizabeth M, says Edward Leonard. Bewitched, yes. Obviously, Batman TV series, remember watching that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Patricelli, do you remember that? American TV show, the guy that was always building the house next to the caravan. Terry Wogan in the UK had an appeal that he set up, and it was send a brick to Patricelli, and people were sending in hundreds of bricks so that this guy could finish building the house.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's just one of those silly things that Wogan did back in the day. Yeah, send a brick to Patricelli, yeah. Of course, the iconic Blue Thunder. Who can forget Blue Thunder? Great TV show.
Hey.
There was some other rip-off version of it. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a bit bish.
I'm containing myself. Bigly containing.
Yeah. Some weird rip-off version, but there was only one true helicopter of goodness. I will get him to buy it. I can feel it. I can feel it well enough.
No, I'm too busy trying to figure out how the flip to make this piece go on.
$6 Million Man. That was another one.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Austin is that man. Better, stronger, faster.
Well, there we go. Or as the character was on the Goodness Gracious Me comedy show, the 6 million rupee man.
Yeah.
With his bionic eye. How did you see that bag of sugar behind me? And my bionic eye allows me to see things.
Yeah. Bill says he saw a Reminder episode after Dennis Waterman left, and it was dire. Yeah,
Really?
One of the young guys out of the Bill played his nephew, or Arthur Daly's nephew, didn't it? Didn't he take over the role of the Minder? But yeah, it was.
Oh, I think I can see him in my mind, yeah, and I can imagine it wouldn't be very good.
Yeah, it didn't work at all.
Wonder why Dennis Waterman left.
Same the theme tune was the star. Yeah. Money.
Did you go off and do something else? Or?
I think there might have been other reasons that were publicised in the media at the time. Let's just say artistic differences and leave it there.
Yes. It's funny with Dennis Waterman. It's like, all I can name him being in is Minder and then New Tricks, and that's it.
Sweeney.
Was it? I've forgotten that.
Detective Carter.
See, I don't remember much about the Sweeney apart from John Thorne. That's it.
Yeah, he was John Thorne's psychic, mate.
Yeah. But other than that, I can remember them three things.
Yeah, the Sweeney. God, that would never be allowed on the telly now. Damn.
Unless you made it as set in that time, but
yeah,
you might get away with some of it.
Yeah. Because they tried in the 80s, didn't they, a more modern version, which was the Professionals, wasn't it, with Gordon Jackson, Lewis Collins and Martin Shaw. They tried to sort of do the old CI5 bit, didn't they, and try and bring it into the modern take of the Sweeney, and it just didn't quite work.
No, tosh.
Edward says best memories of the Hillbillies was when they were shooting golf.
They actually made a movie, The Professionals, about 4 or 5 years ago, didn't they? And it disappeared into the mists because it was truly terrible.
Yeah. Do you remember Jason King, the TV show?
I can see him in my mind with his enormous moustache, but I don't remember watching it.
Wasn't it? And yeah.
I think it was a bit before my time.
Saint, The Protectors.
Yeah, I don't remember The Protectors, but I remember the Saint with his jacket.
Yeah, The Protectors, was that Robert Vaughn and Tony Curtis? Was that The Protectors?
I don't remember that. I think The Protectors was a bit before my time as well.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those series that there were some that were before me, but I saw them, but then the ones that never got reshown, like The Protectors.
Bill says he had to break out the Sweeney quotes every time we did Play Close Up. I bet you did, didn't you? You did, didn't you? I could just imagine you, Bill. Full-blown Jack Regan, mate. You're nipped.
You slag.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Champions, Phil Lewis says. Yes, the Champions. Champion the Wonder Rolls. Do you remember that one?
I do, champion. I have a memory, right? And this is, I don't think anybody remember this. I have a memory of an Australian, police show. Now, I can't remember what it was called, but it might have been called The Specials or something. Mm. But I've got this image in my head of, a town hall kind of steps, American-style town hall, and these guys walking down, dead in the opening sequence. But they were all big, meaty guys. Mm-hmm. And it was a 60s thing. All big, meaty guys, but what set them apart was they all wore very, very tiny hats.
Oh.
And I have this memory of these big, ridiculous, beefy guys in suits, but with tiny little and it was the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Badly fitted trilbies.
Yeah, but really tiny, for these big, massive, burly blokes. And I've got this memory. I don't know if it's real, but nobody's ever been able to confirm it for me. I've never found anything.
Was it the Aussie Trillbillies? See what I did?
You gave it a go. I'm not going to knock you for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Persuaders was Tony Curtis and Roger Moore. Was it? God, for some reason, I thought it was Robert Vaughn. What was the Robert Vaughn? Robert Vaughn was Man from U.N.C.L.E. That was it.
Yeah. Man from U.N.C.L.E.
With David McCullum, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah. Ducky. Hey, Ducky. Love Ducky. I love that.
Bill says he cannot confirm or deny that not having breakfast was uttered or not. Bill Lewis says we're entering the territory of Whirlybirds and Casey Jones. Absolutely.
God, Whirlybirds, I remember that. Do you remember? Oh, what was it now? There was a cartoon series that I only ever saw once, and it was truly terrible. And I think it was called Clutch Cargo or something. And it was they draw the character in, say, the cockpit of a plane, and there was barely any animation, but the eyes and the mouth were real and filmed and then superimposed onto the...
Yeah, I remember it, but yeah.
And I seem to remember that, and it's I remember it being terrible.
Yeah, it was actually quite creepy as well, wasn't it? It was
it's really weird.
It's like Thunderbirds, but they used real hands, wasn't it? Yeah, it was it was a little bit scary.
They've just re-released or released Thunderbirds on Blu-ray. but remastered to 4K.
Oh, right, yeah.
In the original 4:3 aspect ratio and with the original mono soundtrack.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, so that's exactly the way you would have watched it, apart from the, the 4K resolution. And it's like, oh, that's the way you do these things. That's the way you release this nonsense.
Absolutely, yeah. It's got to be done because everyone of our age will be going, yeah, I'm so getting that set. Yeah. Thunderbirds, isn't it? What more could I say?
Well, I was more Captain Scarlet, me. I was always more dark and gritty than silly and fun.
Do you remember Joe 90?
Oh, yeah. I can see the spinny thing now on the guitar.
Yeah, watching Joe 90 try to hold a gun with them hands. It's like, it's a bit like trying to get your Action Man to hold a rifle, wouldn't it? It's like, that rifle?
In any way that would make sense,
not going in them hands.
Yeah. When I was a kid, right, I had all these Action Men. I had Action Man in British uniform.
Yeah.
I had Action Man in German World War II uniform.
Yeah.
Complete with little medals and that insignia that you could pin on. It's quite good. And he had an MP40, and the British guy had a what did he have? I think he had a Thompson submachine gun, which is not really very accurate. And it was great.
I can remember Eagle-Eyed Action Man and Gripping Hands Action Man.
Yeah, Ninja Grip.
Do you remember the one with the Paul call? Talking one?
Yeah. And he's there going, advance to the front and take cover.
Chloe says two of these favourite cartoons were Jumbo the Jet of the Family Ness, both made by the same animation company.
Good Scottish animations, those.
TV show, Swiss Family Robinson. Do you remember that?
I think I avoided that one.
Yeah. It's funny though, we're all sitting there going classic TV, but when you re-watch them,
it's really bad.
You sit there and you think, damn, that's bish.
God.
I don't remember this being that rough.
Who remembers the adventure game?
No.
Where every week some like time travelers would get stranded and they had to go through all these like puzzles and things to get the crystal back to go on. So it was always like basically a celebrity like, I don't know, Floella Benjamin and some normal people. And they had to go and do all these like full like puzzles. Like being in a puzzle room type thing. And there was it was aliens that were doing, one of them was called Uncle Aspidistra. And he was just an aspidistra that went, that's all he did.
Bill says Chilton and the Wheelies were pure nightmare.
Oh, little old lady.
I can remember Mary Mungo and Midge.
Yeah, that's before me, that. I think I vaguely remembered a Crystal Tips and Alistair.
Yeah, do you remember the double deckers? That used to be like a version of Why Don't You? It was on a double decker bus.
Before my time, but I remember it because it was repeated.
Yeah.
Interestingly, in Dr. Irving Finkel's book, The First Ghosts, which is about Babylonian and Assyrian history and ghosts, he mentions it's a book about the Ark. He mentions about how he found this cuneiform tablet from someone who was a collector.
Yeah.
And it was a very important cuneiform tablet, but that's beside the point, he said. But the thing is, the guy that brought it in, apparently I found out later, he was a kid from the Double Deckers. Quite famous. He said, I don't know about these things.
They were TV shows of their time, weren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah. I've got the Joe 90 theme in my head now. I can't do too much of it for obvious reasons, but it's there.
When you lay your head down later, you're going to imagine that you're in that circle.
No, I've had the Voyager theme stuck in my head for about 2 weeks. So that's in there for love nor money at the minute. That's
in there forever, is it?
Yeah, I've tried displacing it with like Deep Space Nine. It's not having it. So I listened to some Amarok the other day. That's a good earworm that fills my brain, but no, even that didn't get rid of it.
Yeah, I went for a stage where I had Deep Space Nine in me, but it wasn't for the theme tune.
Well, yeah, and it wasn't in your head. No. This is my annual reminder, by the way, to folks to go out and find, buy, or otherwise locate the album Amarok by Mike Oldfield. Trust me, he will thank me. It's not his usual poncy nonsense. It's just good. You just get it.
Everyone's going, yeah, okay, Fox.
Trust me.
Right, start the ball rolling on them. Happy days. Right, that's pretty much a good time to call it for the night, I think.
Just finish that step, so that's good.
Again, massive thanks for all of you that have come in and kept us two idiots company.
Yeah.
It's always nice to spend our Friday nights with you folks. We do look forward to it. So between now and next Friday, stay safe and well, folks.
Yes.
Be nice to each other and all of that lot. And we look forward to seeing you again next Friday, folks.
Yeah.
Until then, bye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down,